Amelia Badilia's first library card. How many boys and girls remember their very first library card? Wow, what does that say? Town library. Wow, that's very exciting. Yes, it is. Well, what does it say? Oh, Amelia Badilia loved books. Wow. And she loved to read. That's why she was so happy the day her teacher, Miss Edwards, Miss Edwards right there, took the class to visit the town library. Very cool, right? How many boys and girls have been there? Yeah, it's full of books and movies. Very exciting. All right. Abe, are you coming along? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna read. Let's go, quick. Welcome to the library, said a lady in the lobby. I am Mrs. Riley, the children's librarian. We have lots of great things to show you, but first, one rule. Ooh, rules are important. There is no food or drink allowed in the library. We don't want any icky, sticky books, do we? No, shouted the class. Wow, that's a very important rule. And what's on this page? Amelia Badilia quickly finished her juice box. She wasn't really supposed to be drinking it anyway. Oh, no food or drink allowed in the library, right, boys and girls? She looked around for a place to put it. The library really is great, she thought as she shoved her juice box into the handy trash can just for kids. Oh, look at that. It looks like a dinosaur and it says, "Feed me." Oh, but wow, what does it say underneath? Now, let me show you how to return a book, said Mrs. Riley. You just slip it in here, like this. And she slid a book through the slot. Let's go see where it went and what happens next. Uh-oh, thought Amelia Badilia. Why is Amelia Badilia saying uh-oh? Yes, you're right. She thought it was a garbage can. She put her juice box in there. But it's actually for books. Oh my goodness. Let's turn the page and find out what happens. Oh, do you see that? Everyone followed Mrs. Riley to see the bins that caught the books. She reached into one bin and pulled out a crumpled juice box. We will check this into the trash, she said, dropping it into the waste paper basket. See why we don't like food or drink in the library? This book is wet and sticky. Oh my goodness, look at the book. How did that happen? Oh, what's on this page? Now come with me, said Mrs. Riley. Let me introduce you to Thomas B. at the circulation desk. He is checking books in and checking books out too. Wow, very cool job. Hey kids, said Thomas B. Who wants to check in a book? Everyone took a turn with the book scanner. Beep, beep, beep. Wow, that's just like a grocery store, all those beeps. Let's turn the page and see what else is going on at the town library. Oh, the librarian showed the class how books are sorted onto carts, wheeled through the library and put back exactly where they belong. Look at all the rows of books, boys and girls. That is amazing. Wow. And what does it say on the next page? It says we have books on every subject you can think of, said Mrs. Riley, from history to art to sports to science. And there are lots of good stories in the stacks too. Amelia Badilia didn't see any stacks. She looked around for something in piles like hay or pancakes, but all she could see were shelves of books. At last they arrived at the children's room. This is my favorite place, said Mrs. Riley. Please make yourselves at home. Hey, said Skip, the fish are afraid of me. They can read, Amelia Badilia said. Your shirt makes them feel like lunch. Uh-oh, what's on his shirt? It's a shark. And it says chomp. Oh, and what's on this next page? Mrs. Riley went to her desk and picked up a bundle of plastic cards. She removed the rubber band and put it on her wrist. "This is my librarian jewelry," she said, smiling. And then she gave the cards to Miss Edwards. Oh, look at all the cheering. "Here is a library card for each one of you," said Miss Edwards. "Now you can check out books whenever you like." And the whole class cheered, "Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!" Wow! Remember when we talked about how a library works, chickadees? Asked Miss Edwards. "The library shares these books with everyone in town." "That's right," said Mrs. Riley. "When you check one out, you are taking a turn with it. At our library, your turn lasts for 3 weeks. Wow, that is pretty cool. Look at that on the next page. Penny raised her hand. "What if you don't return your book on time?" "Well, you can renew it and get extra time," said Mrs. Riley. "But if you keep it past the due date, you get a fine." That sounded okay to Amelia Badilia. Getting a fine was not as good as getting an excellent, but it was not as bad as getting a terrible. That's what she was thinking. Look at the meter. "We have a few minutes before we head back to school," said Miss Edwards. "Please choose one book and then use your new library card to check it out." "I'd like to check out this chapter book," said Dawn. "Terrific," said Mrs. Riley. "Let's try my finger test." She opened Dawn's book to the first chapter. As she moved her finger across the page, Dawn read each word out loud. "Wonderful," said Mrs. Riley. "This is a perfect book for you. Now, does anyone need help?" What's this on this page? Mrs. Riley showed them where to find the chapter books and picture books. She showed them where to find books about famous people and books about animals and books by their favorite authors. Wow, I'm pretty sure everybody can find a book that they really liked. Mrs. Riley even showed them a special shelf of audiobooks. "These are for kids who like to read with their ears," she said. Amelia Badilia decided that she wanted to learn to read with her eyes first. With so many books, it was hard for Amelia Badilia to choose just one. She held up her finger, shut her eyes, and twirled around and around. The winner of her finger test was on the top shelf. "Those are for the older kids," said Mrs. Riley. "They're over your head." "I know," said Amelia Bedelia. "That's why I need help." Oh, and what's this over here? "Oh, come with me," said Mrs. Riley. "I bet you'll like these books better. They're exactly at your level." And Mrs. Riley was right. Amelia Bedelia could reach them all. She chose a book about cupcakes and got in line behind Teddy. "Hey, Amelia Bedelia," said Teddy. "Which one should I get?" "Yeah," yelled Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Riley raised both eyebrows. "Sorry," said Amelia Bedelia. "I thought Tyrannosaurus Rex was going to bite off my nose." "I can't wait to read this to my little brother," said Teddy. He handed his other book to Amelia Bedelia. "Here," he said, "check this one out." And what does it say? Oh, it's about clouds and weather. Amelia Bedelia opened the book slowly and carefully. No teeth, no scales, no dinosaurs. This one was about clouds and the weather. "Next," said Thomas B. "I'm just checking this out," said Amelia Bedelia. "Looks interesting," said Thomas B. "May I see it? Along with your library card?" Amelia Bedelia handed him both. "Beep! Here you go," said Thomas B. "It's due back in 3 weeks." "Oh no!" Amelia Bedelia was about to shout. "Wait, that's a mistake. I didn't want the book about clouds. I want this book about cupcakes. But just then, Miss Edwards called, "Time to go back to school." Oh, looking on the next page, Amelia Badilia doesn't look too happy. Amelia Badilia was furious. On her way out, she glared at the book return slot. She felt like shoving the silly weather book in there right this minute. But then she wouldn't have a book to take home. This was supposed to be a great visit, but it had started out badly and ended worse. Amelia Badilia was still upset when she got home. She headed straight for her swing set and swung as high as she could, trying to kick every cloud out of the sky. Then she lay down in the grass and looked up. As the clouds grew bigger and bigger, Amelia Badilia imagined she could see all sorts of wonderful and happy things in them. Look at this on the next page. Oh, look at those clouds. Look at that. I think I see a puppy. Yeah, she took her library book out of her backpack. She had just found the page that described the big stormy cloud above her when her mother called. "Amelia Badilia, Aunt Marie is here." "Yippee!" yelled Amelia Badilia. Aunt Marie brought Amelia Badilia a fancy purse, the perfect place to carry her new library card. "Thank you," said Amelia Badilia. This turned into a great day after all. "You sound like you're on a cloud nine," said Aunt Marie. Amelia Badilia couldn't wait to look up cloud nine in her book. Boom! Wow, what was that? See, boom, when a clap of thunder, it began to pour. Her book! Wow, and another big boom. Yeah, that is some really big thunder. "Oh no," said Amelia Badilia. She ran to the rescue. "I'll be right back." "We can't go outside, young lady," said her mother. "It's too dangerous." And another enormous boom rattled the windows. Oh, look at this. I think she's dreaming. The lightning and thunder and rain didn't let up. It stormed all afternoon and all through the night. Amelia Badilia couldn't fall asleep for a long time. When she finally did, she dreamed about storm clouds filled with horrible, scary things. The next morning was sunny, but Amelia Badilia's library book was completely soaked. The pages looked all wrinkled, like her fingers did when she stayed in the bathtub too long. Oh my, how many boys and girls have had that happen to them? Yeah. Whew, what will happen next? Hopefully it will be okay. Amelia Badilia was too upset to eat her breakfast. "Is something wrong?" her dad asked. "You look under the weather." "I'm okay," she said, "but my library book was under the weather all night." Wow, she had her head down on the table. "Look at the book." "Wow, yipes," said her dad. "It's practically pulp." Amelia Badilia let out a sob. She thought only orange juice had pulp. "Oh, sweetie, accidents happen," said her mom. "I'll take you to the library after school and you can explain everything." That afternoon, Amelia Badilia and her mother went to the library. My, said Mrs. Riley. "You really did read up a storm." Amelia Badilia's mother smiled and offered to replace the book. "Thank you," said Mrs. Riley. "Amelia Badilia, I can tell that you love books as much as I do." She put a rubber band on Amelia Badilia's wrist. "Here is an official librarian's bracelet just for you." "Thanks," said Amelia Badilia. "I know you don't allow food in the library, but I brought you a cupcake to say I'm sorry." "Oh, hi, Abe. You coming here? Did you? Oh, you saw the cupcakes. All right, what does it say?" Said Mrs. Riley. "Can it pass my finger test?" "Can you really read a cupcake?" Amelia Badilia asked. "Wow, yeah, cupcake." And Mrs. Riley took a swipe of frosting and tasted it. "Yum," she said. Amelia Badilia I'm glad you brought this in for me to check out. Wow, who does not like cupcakes?